What is up, everyone? I'm Ryan from Fireside Yankees, and in today's video, we are recapping today's first spring training game for the New York Yankees of the 2023 season. The Yankees dropped this game 4-7. Quite frankly, you're not really too concerned about the score or the record of the New York Yankees in spring training. You just care that guys stay healthy, that guys show off some pretty good stuff, and that you see, linear progression in terms of command and the finer things in terms of baseball skills, as spring training carries on. Characteristically, with a team that hasn't played, any games until today, the Yankees didn't have great pitching in terms of their command. The stuff, on the other hand, I would say definitely looked pretty good. We'll go through some of these pitching lines here. Ryan Weber opened the day. He gave up 2 hits, had a strikeout, tossed a scoreless inning. Not really a guy you're going to factor into, making a permanent bullpen spot or fighting for a rotation spot, but definitely someone that is going to be in the mix if the Yankees need some innings. Last year, the Yankees used Ryan Weber sporadically whenever they just needed an arm, and he performed pretty well in that role. So, he's a guy who's probably going to find himself in a similar role this year unless, the Yankees or he opts out of his minor league deal or the Yankees ought to release him. Randy Vasquez was the next guy in line, and he really struggled today. His command wasn't there. He wasn't able to get swings and misses. He just didn't look great in terms of command. His stuff was fine. I mean, the curveball is always good. He threw a couple of really good sinkers in there and a couple of really good changeups, but ultimately it just wasn't there for him. He was hanging some of his breaking pitches. He was missing down and away, which this is normal. This isn't like something that you would say is a red flag for a pitcher. This is their first spring training outing. The command's not going to be there. So at least we got to see a little bit of him and get some data on some of his pitches. As for the next guy who came in, Alex Mauricio actually relieved Vasquez in the second inning and then relieved him again in the third inning. Weird spring training rules. You're allowed to pull a guy and then bring them back in to finish the next inning or whatever it may be. It's really weird, but I think it makes sense. You want to get guys their reps and you want to be able to get a better look at them. Sometimes some guys just don't have it. You want to give them a second chance to kind of figure it out. Mauricio, however, he just needed 14 pitches to get his 3 strikeouts in the 3 batters he faced. He was really impressive today. And there's a reason a lot of people don't know who he is. It's because the Yankees drafted him back in 2017, but he retired briefly. He didn't play in 2020 or 2021. 2020 was the COVID year, so no one played at the minor league level. And then 2021, he just didn't play professional baseball, so that's why he's 26 in high A. But if you look at his stuff, man, it's beautiful, right? 2,500 RPM 4-seam fastball that gets a lot of life up in the strike zone and has some pretty good horizontal movement. And then a cutter that is just absolutely gross. We're talking an 89-mile-an-hour cutter with averaging 6 inches of sweep, right? This is basically a gyro slider, right? But it's got the drop of a cutter. It's really just a beautiful pitch. Quite frankly, I look at this as a guy who can be like Steven Ridings was back in 2021, where kind of comes out of nowhere, just elite level stuff, flies through the minor leagues and finds himself potentially, becoming a depth guy for the Yankees at the major league level. We'll have to wait and see with that, though. He'll have to kind of show us a little bit more before I'm going to get too excited, because command is still a big thing here, right? One inning of having really good command isn't the same as sustaining that command over a larger sample size. Then we saw some guys, like Greg Weisser, who we've seen before. He looked pretty good today. Yes, he had a walk, but again, a lot of guys didn't really have their command today. It's spring training. That's normal. But in terms of his 4-seam fastball, his changeup, his sinker, his slider, he was able to incorporate all of those pitches really well. Weisser is someone who actually performed better against left-handed batters last year because of the 4-seam fastball and the changeup. There's a lot of vertical separation there. He releases it from a low slot, so it has some pretty good vertical approach angle for a 4-seam fastball. And then the slider and sinker, they're both nasty pitches. He just needs to figure out the command of them a little bit more. We looked at Tyler Danish today. He didn't pitch too well in terms of his earned runs, but he did get 2 strikeouts in there. Again, he's someone the Yankees took a flyer on a minor league deal. He's just kind of figuring things out. I don't know if he'll make the Yankee roster in AAA. I mean, I think he could, but I don't know if he's going to remain on that minor league deal. But it was good to see some of the depth arms. Nick Ramirez is another guy they brought in kind of a similar situation or similar role, where the Yankees just kind of brought him in just to have some more depth at the minor league level. And he was really impressive today. He was throwing his changeup a lot. His changeup was absolutely gross. He was getting a lot of swings and misses. His slider was great. He got 2 strikeouts in just 1 inning pitched. He looked great. I mean, he threw 10 pitches, and he looked amazing. Quite frankly, the Yankees need a lefty, so there's going to be some sort of buzz around these left-handed guys that the Yankees have. Matt Crook's another one, but he didn't pitch today. And then after him followed another lefty, DJ Snelton, who wasn't as impressive as Nick Ramirez. He walked 3 guys in the 2/3 innings pitched, gave up 2 hits, only had 1 strikeout. But the stuff was he was through the roof. His velocity, he's throwing 98 from the left-handed side. That's always impressive. He has a pretty good slider. It's just a matter of command. Again, we'll have to wait and see if the command comes to fruition, but I don't think the Yankees are necessarily looking at the 3 walks and saying this guy has no shot with us. I think they look at the stuff and say the stuff was good. We just have to see how the command looks as the season goes on, or as spring training goes on. Leonardo Pestana came in, and he was the one who relieved Snelton. He didn't really pitch much. He only threw a third of an inning, so not much to pull off from there. Richard Fitz came in, and he's one of the better Yankee pitching prospects in their system. He tossed an inning. He gave up a home run, but he also struck out a batter. I think he looked pretty good. His velocity was up, which is encouraging. He's someone who sits, 92, 93. He was averaging 95 on his fastball today. The cutter, which is more of a slider, looked good as well. So ultimately, I think this is a guy who, with that increased velocity could be really, really, really good this year. Watch out for him because he really sparkled with the Hudson Valley Renegades at high A. And then on the offensive side of the ball, Jason Dominguez went yard today, and that's what you love to see. He hit a ball 109.7 miles an hour, deep into left center field. It was the hardest hit home run by any player under the age of 21 since Juan Soto in 2019, Game 6 of the World Series. 109.7 miles an hour on a home run is crazy. That's ridiculous power right there. I'm really excited about Jason Dominguez for 2023. And then some other notable guys who performed pretty well at the plate today. Gleyber Torres hit a home run as well. He had a double. He looked really, really, really good at the plate today. Showed off some of the opposite field power with that home run. You had Isaiah Kiner-Falefa who had a double today. Oswaldo Cabrera had a walk and 2 RBI singles. So ultimately, I think the Yankees had some guys look pretty good on the pitching side of the ball in terms of their stuff. Not necessarily in terms of command, but that'll get better as the season goes on or as spring goes on. And then on the offensive side of the ball, you got to see some young guys do some pretty cool things. So I'm really excited for the rest of spring training. The Yankees kick off their home opener tomorrow with Clark Schmidt getting the start, and that should be really exciting. Clark Schmidt, as you guys know, is someone fighting for that 5th starter spot. I've been pushing his agenda all offseason, so I'm going to be really excited to see him tomorrow. Hope you guys tune in, and make sure you guys tune into Fireside Yankees for post-game recaps. We're going to have highlights on shorts. We're going to release, post-game recaps like this one, and we're also going to have some more content in terms of video content for the main channel. That should include highlights for the games. You guys should be your one-stop shop for all baseball for the New York Yankees, anything related to it, whether you want specific highlights, game highlights, or post-game recaps, or analysis in general. We got you guys covered. We'll see you guys in the next episode of Fireside Yankees. Peace out.